Hello and welcome to episode 14 of the Sell Smarter, Sell Faster livecast. This is the final episode of season 2 and also our final episode of 2021, which is crazy. It is the end of 2021. We made it, you guys.
How are we here?
As always, please drop in the comments where you're watching from. We always love to hear from you. I'm in the Bay Area in Northern California. I know Shay's in the Panhandle of Florida, so we're representing the coast. And we always like to see all the different places everyone's joining from. As always, I'm Dani Buckley. I'm your host, and Shay is our producer. We are always excited to be here. This live cast is all about helping organizations sell smarter, sell faster, using different sales enablement best practices, talking about case studies, what we kind of see out there, emerging trends, all of that. And we are powered by Lead G2, which is a sales performance agency. We specialize in using inbound marketing and sales enablement tactics to help businesses grow. And that's what we're all about. So I know, Shay, you just dropped the sellsmarter.sellfaster.com. Please visit us there. And I know you've got some other things to always remind people of to stay in touch with us.
Yes. So first off, you can visit sellsmarter.sellfaster.com. We have past episodes. We have related content that might relate to some of the topics that we're talking about on the show, or you can go back and find your favorite episode. You can also find us on YouTube, which you could be watching us live right now on YouTube or watching us later on YouTube. If it's your first episode or if it's your 14th episode, I hope you are subscribed. Our channel is down there. If you're not watching on YouTube and you found us somewhere else, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. I always forget that word, the icon, so you can turn your notifications on so you are notified when we're live in the future, or if we upload new content. You don't want to miss out on that. And last, we'd love to connect with you. We're growing our community that helps. We really want to help other people sell smarter and sell faster. And that's what we're here to do. We're passionate about it. We're passionate about helping people find success through these topics and strategies that we talk about. So connect with us. We put our connect info up at the end. You can also find us on sellsmarter.sellfaster.com. So with that, Dani, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guest today because I don't want to take any more time. So excited to hear what she has to say. I have her bio and her intro right here. I want to read this. Sometimes I pull stuff, but she is so accomplished. I just want to read everything and just let people know how awesome she is. Okay, so as Vice President of Marketing for MrSteam, also known as Feel Good Inc., Martha Orellana has championed MrSteam and parent company Sussman Automatic for over 30 years. Responsible for the management of the company's West Coast office and overseeing marketing for MrSteam, Martha is an integral force in introducing the world to the feel-good benefits of Steam. Her efforts in shaping the marketing of MrSteam's products and services has had a profound impact on the company's position in the industry. She also spearheads the creation and development of several teaching tools designed to make wellness easy to achieve, and seminars and collateral materials that promote healthy living and enhance the steam bathing experience. We feel good when you feel good is the mantra that Martha infuses. Okay, let me go back. We feel good when you feel good is the mantra Martha infuses into all company endeavors. A graduate of Hunter College, a licensed California contractor, and a member of the National Association of Female Executives, Martha has been recognized by Contractor Magazine as one of the most influential women in the kitchen and bath industry, and in 2015 was named Manufacturing Professional of the Year by the Decorative Plumbing and Hardware Association. A passionate advocate for steam therapy, a wellness program she helped develop, Martha brings the feel good wherever she goes. Her personal life is a testament to making wellness a way of life. When she's not soaring the skies in a hot air balloon, I'd love to hear about that, savoring her favorite Italian cuisine, or spending her precious free time with friends and family in her West Hollywood home, Martha practices what she preaches as a self-described spa connoisseur. So with that, I'm going to bring Martha in and jump out of here so y'all can have a great conversation.
Thanks, Shay. And I've had the pleasure of working with you, Martha, for quite a few years now. And you are one of the best in the biz. I love talking everything marketing with you. And I always learn from you, even though you're a client of ours. And so I'm just really excited to have this time with you today.
Well, it's absolutely amazing to be here. Thank you. That was some hell of an intro. feel good about it anyway.
Yeah, it was great. It was perfect. So yeah, this topic in particular about relationship building is just, it was what I just knew I wanted to talk to you about, because you kind of ooze it. It's such a natural talent in who you are. It's not something that I feel like you have to force at all. And and so I think there's things that I'm hoping that our audience can learn from you, to for those that maybe it's not as natural. And so yeah, I'm excited to dive in. So let's start. MrSteam has a lot of different audiences, right? You've got a lot of different types of customers that you work with, and partners. And so tell us a little bit about that, just to kind of get everyone on the same page of understanding how relationship building kind of plays a role for you.
So if you imagine that you are at home and you're and this happened a lot in the last 2 years. People were at home and they were looking around, they were looking at their bathroom, and they were saying, "Oh, I hate this," and then they were saying, "Gee, I wish there was something I could do to make it better and to make myself feel better, wellness." So, oh, what about Steam? So the process of going from that decision as a consumer to saying, how do I get Steam installed in my shower, is a long process, with a lot of people in the middle. Not a long process per se, but you're going to talk to a designer, perhaps. You're going to talk to an architect. You're going to have a builder involved. You're going to have the plumber or your contractor involved, and you're going to have a showroom involved that's going to be, or a plumbing supply that's going to purchase the equipment. So all these people are in essence our customers too, not just the ultimate user. So building relationships across all those different titles is definitely a challenge, because you do have to know how to talk to an architect. You're not going to talk to them the same way that you're going to talk to a plumber, and you're going to talk to a showroom, and their needs are going to be different than the needs of a consumer. So you have to be prepared to understand their needs and then talk to them to where they need the information and they want to know, and we provide that. I think that's really the key.
Yeah.
Meet them where they live and what they need.
Yeah, and that's what, in your marketing in general, and we've been able at Lead G2 to help you with some of this, but you have a lot of different programs, a lot of different ways that you personalize that communication and those relationships. And so I'm wondering, to start, if you could just share one example of a program that you have that kind of is centered around, this relationship building, because I know you have many.
Well, one of my favorite programs is what we call Camp Feel Good. And you talk to a lot of people, and most of them don't realize that they can have Steam in their home. A lot of them have experienced it, if they've experienced it, in their home, in their spa, or in their gym. So we thought, why not create a program that would allow them to learn about the how-tos, the whys, and why, and what needs to be done to put Steam in there, and to also experience it. So we usually, what winds up happening, we take some designers, some architects, some showroom people, and put them in, set up maybe 10 or 12 of them, and we get a spa, probably Lacoste or someplace like that, and we get an actual presentation room where we spend about 2 or 3 hours in training, just through the basics. Or believe it or not, there's tons of information that's available out there that they need to know, to make sure that the customer's experience is smooth. And then once they're done with that, we go in and we actually do what and you've done this, Dani. We actually put mud on, and I've imported this mud from Morocco. And then once this mud is applied and dried, I walk them into the steam room, and we're sitting around there. And as the mud is starting to soften up, then they start to experience steam. And in some cases, we do have some aromatherapy, so they're able to enjoy the eucalyptus or so. And then they actually feel that they have done that. And now, in order to get all this organized, we actually have used a lot of the inbound tools, right? We go from an email blast to the Evite. We send them a questionnaire regarding, after the steam treatment, they go into an actual massage. So we ask them what kind of treatment they would like. We send them thank you notes, right? And then once they're in our system, they are and once they've experienced Steam, they become our greatest ambassadors. So they now can sign up for subscription for the blogs, for newsletters, and it's really a combination of technology and humanity. And I think that's where it really comes in great. And I love doing that because everybody comes away from this with such an awareness of, oh, that's what it feels like. Oh, that's how it should be done. That's why the steam head should be on the bottom and not the top. Just basic things, but it really resonates in terms of relationship building. You can't get any better than being in a steam room with 10 people and not create a relationship.
Yeah. And it would be so much easier to just send people a video or a packet, right? And say, oh, you can imagine, or here's the info you need. But I mean, you guys really invest in having that like one-on-one experience with people and them really experiencing the Steam, but also experiencing MrSteam, right? Like the culture, other people at your company, it's all part of that relationship building where they're going to think of MrSteam. They're going to remember this experience and feel, I think, more confident even talking about it with their own customers.
And you know what? It's really about believing in what you're selling. Obviously, you do the same thing. You believe in the product, in the services that you provide, and you feel good about talking about it and having. I feel passionate about having. Everyone should have Steam in their home, especially in the last 2 years. We have been so phenomenally busy because people finally understood. Here's a product that we make in the US that is actually good for you, that's been around for thousands of years. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Why? So it's about the information and the passion and the certainty of the products that you're bringing that makes people say, ah, okay, here's a company that we can deal with. There's a company that we can trust. In our case, we've only been around for 100 years, but so we're going to be around for a little while longer.
Yeah.
So it really is about believing in what you're selling. Like with any sales, you guys know that.
Yeah. So what for you, what kind of effectiveness do you see in doing something like this that is going to only maybe reach 10 people at a time, but it has much bigger of a ripple effect? What kind of results do you see from like a Camp Feel Good?
You know, it's interesting. We've done several, probably over 100 of them in the last year. We stopped, obviously, but we went back and we analyzed, and all the people that were in the showroom people, because that's who we get our purchase orders from, right? The business more than doubled. So whatever time we spent, whether it was 4 or 6 hours, it was absolutely worth it. They'll never forget it. They'll never experience anything. They'll remember this. It's not like here's a PowerPoint and I'm going to send you a flyer. The connectivity that you get from that one-to-one. When I smear mud on an architect's face or a designer's face, they're never going to go and get somebody else's Steam.
Yeah. You really are a pro, I think, creating, like, developing evangelists naturally and authentically.
Well, that's the way to do it. You can pay somebody, and I think people can see through the BS. You can see whether you're getting paid for and you're just reading the copy. Otherwise, or you're excited. You know that you've had the product and you know that it's really great and you should have it, right? So there's a big difference, and I think most of us really know the difference. You can pay a lot of money, or you can actually make a real convert, and I go for those because they last forever.
Yeah. And that I think is what's key. And what it has me thinking about is just, other folks listening and watching this and thinking about their industry, while it's easy to say, oh, well, sure, you can do that with Steam. You can have the spa experience. It's fun. It's sexy. It's cool. It's, but I'm already thinking of ways in a lot of the industries that we work with, other clients, that, it may not be, a Steam spa experience, but, we work with a lot of media companies. And I'm just thinking about having advertisers come in and experience the process of creating a commercial and sitting in a studio. There's experiences you can create in all kinds of industries that will leave that lasting impression. And I think it's just about getting creative and figuring out what that is.
Someone that sells toilets, right?
Yeah.
And they actually came up with a very clever way of doing it. They had golf balls, right, in a clear plexi through with colors going through, and there was actually, you could see how the movement was. So there's tons of things you
Yeah.
can be creative about, whether it's toilets or a studio setting or whatnot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think people want to put their hands on, they want to see across from you, they want to know who you are, and they want to know that you're genuine, right?
Yeah.
Most
That's
likely,
key.
given the all things being equal, they're gonna wind up dealing with you.
Yeah. So let's shift a little bit to the sales team, because I know that this relationship building, this genuine, yeah, just like the way that you connect with people, it really runs through your whole culture. I've seen it. I've experienced it with meeting, your director of sales, your different salespeople. So, what do you have any examples of how your salespeople are maybe effectively kind of building and nurturing their relationships with folks?
Yeah, well, I think last 2 years everyone sort of was challenged, and we do a lot of training, whether it's for the particular showroom, which usually has anywhere from 3 to 10 people, and last year we came to do Zoom, right? Uh,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just we had no choice, but face to face, wherever possible, that's always the best way to do it. We also do some trade shows, and I find that having coffee or having a drink or two after the show, and just connecting, and sharing, it's not always about selling, although you do sell smarter and faster.
Yeah.
But I think the smarter way to sell is really to connect and really to have that personal relationship. And then when you call them and you say, "Hey, listen, Freddie, I got this fantastic product," they're going to give you the time. They're going to talk to you because they know who you are. So it's about letting them know who you are, and they'll get to know that person, and want to let you in and want to support you
Yeah.
along the way. We also do lunch and learns, right? So we do a lot with architects. You buy them lunch, and then you do an hour or so presentation. But you're there. You're physically there, and you're courting them, and you say, "Here, this is who we do. This is what we do. This is who we are." But it's face to face, and
Mhm.
that was a big problem for us in the last
Yeah.
2 years, not being able to have that exposure.
What I'm kind of hearing too is like there's a level of patience that I think is necessary, that like you might be building relationships and nurturing them now, and it may not be that there's a fit for this architect to recommend MrSteam this year even, but it's about knowing that like when the right time comes and the right client and the right customer, that relationship's there, and that you are kind of paying, like you're investing in it now, knowing that it may not be immediate gratification.
And also the architects, or the designers or the showroom people may move, and
Yeah.
guess what, they now move to a new place, and guess what, they're still going to be our clients,
Yeah.
they're still going to
Yeah.
be supporting us, and these are lifelong relationships that you
Yeah.
establish. And if you treat them right, if you treat them tenderly, and connect with them, and that's why I like the follow up version. That's why the inbound and the follow through.
Yeah.
Every so often we're going to send an email, say, "Hey, this is what's up. I hope you're doing well." We can personalize it, the experience too, right?
Yeah.
You can actually do a little video on your email. Say, "Hi, I missed you. Just want to let you know this is the latest from us. Let's have lunch next week," right? So
Yeah.
there is technology so out there. We should be embracing that along with the humanity, as I said before. You have
Yeah.
to have both two in order to really be hitting your targets.
I think so that kind of leads into the next question, and you're really hitting the nail on the head. What I believe and what we teach is it's not one or the other, right? You can have this very personalized human, manual approach that's very important, right? These individual touch points, and that's really valuable and really important. But you also can only do so much, right? You only have so much time in the day. So when you pair that with using technology and tools and automation, that's where I think the magic really happens. And you don't want to only use automation and tools because you need that personal touch. So it's about both. So is there anything that you can share about like some of the tools that you guys do? I know you just touched on a couple, but anything else you'd add that helps with the relationship building, so it's not 100% reliant on the salesperson having to do it.
And you can't, right? You can't be everywhere at all times, and that's where the tools come into play. You can't just let the automation be the salesperson, because then
Yeah.
why would they need us, right?
Yeah.
So you got to have that personality, and you have to have the technology to support it. So what do we do? I mean, we use all the inbound tools, right? We do email blasts, we do blogs, we do follow through on calls. We do CRM. So CRM is so easy. You can just assign somebody. Oh yeah, you have to do this, and you don't have to say anything else. It just automatically goes to Joe to finish up the brochure. So it is so important to be able to, and we're so fortunate being in 2022 in a couple of weeks, Dani, to have the technology that enables us to just with a simple button just do so much more. You can curate. You can have, in our settings, we have, as I said, probably 5-6 different personas, and you can say, well, I just want persona type A and B and C to get this, and then persona D, E, F to get this, and I wanted to go on a Monday at 2:00, and the other one, and more importantly though, I would suggest that we do a lot of what I call test, analyze, and adjust, right?
Yeah.
And this is where you play with the technology and see if you have success. Guess what? You keep building on it, and you keep going back to test, analyze, adjust, and you amplify, right? And just invest in that, and your time and energy in monitoring and analyzing the data, right? So it's a human touch, and there's the techno touch, right? That you gotta put together. Analyze the data. It'll tell you what to do. If you're keeping your data clean, gotta, that's one of the things that you have got to do is maintain the purity of that data. If you don't do it every day, you're going to do it once a month. It's never going to work. Forget it. Don't bother. If you're committed to it, it'll work brilliantly.
I'm glad you mentioned that. And even before that, about like the segmentation that you're able to do. And this is something I know we've worked with you guys on years ago, at helping, like, it takes a lot of work. I mean, you've got a database of tens of thousands of people in different roles in different parts of the country, in the world. And we've worked really hard to make it as clean and segmentable, if that's a word, as possible. Yeah, right. So we can say, like you said, architects in California, we can go that detailed, right? If we had a specific thing. And that's not easy to do with a large database that's constantly growing, constantly being added to. But I know it's a priority that you all have made on the marketing side, so that it also helps sales. Sales has a cleaner database because of that.
Well, one of the things that I just want to say though is that in you can't think of those marketing and sales separately, right? To me, it's one entity. I always think about it as in terms of putting on a play, right? So you have your stage, you have your script, you have your songs, and you have your actors. So you wouldn't have a play without the actors and without the backdrops, right? So to me, that's what making $1 means. You have to have your whole cohesiveness between the sales team and the marketing team working as one. To me, I'm both. I always think of myself as both. I can't sell without having something that I need to share with them as a tool, and analyze what their needs are, and then providing them, right? So to me, that's the mind of a great salesperson or a great marketer. You need both.
Yes, I agree. You're speaking my language. So I could sit and talk with you all day because I love you, Martha. But I to kind of close us out, I'm just curious if you have any closing, like, best practices or tips. Just your many years of being what I believe is just a master relationship builder. Anything that you would leave to people kind of in the business world that they can take and think about moving forward into the next year?
Well, I think you have to believe in the product that you're selling. It's unfortunate if you don't, because you're not going to have the energy behind it that you do. I've been fortunate that I truly believe that what we're selling is totally reachable and needable. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Everybody needs to have it. And honestly, if you have to get up in the morning and say, "Oh, I got to lie about this," there are plenty of jobs out there, especially now, guys. Don't settle. Go be passionate about what you want to sell. Believe in what you're selling and what you're doing, and I think things, use the technology and things will flow from that.
Yeah, I love it. This was jam-packed with lots of great information. So thanks for joining me, Martha. I know Shay just dropped in your LinkedIn if anybody wants to connect with Martha. But it was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Yes, you too. We'll talk soon. Hey, Shay.
I'm muted. There I am. Thank you both. That was awesome. I love her passion about it. It makes me need to go out and get it for my house. So that was great. Thank y'all so much. As a reminder, just before we close, if you would like to connect with us, we would love to connect with you. Make sure you are subscribed on YouTube and that you have your notifications turned on. We've got all of our past episodes there. You can also find a lot of content related to the topics we talk about on the show at sellsmarter.sellfaster.com. Resources, blog posts, all the things, some of the things y'all mentioned in your conversation. And with that, Dani, do you have anything else for us today?
No, just to we'll see you guys in the new year for season 3. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, thank you, Shay, for all you do. Happy holidays and happy new year.
Thanks, everyone.